I forgot Dark City last week. What is wrong with me? Oh my goodness. My top 20 sci-fi movies of all time, Dark City had to go on there. Completely slipped my mind. Oh well. If you're wondering, it goes somewhere around the middle of the list. Probably not quite as high as Children of Men, but around that area. So, thanks everyone who commented on my video last week. I got a bunch of comments. Thank you very much. I'm sorry I haven't responded directly to them. Google Plus doesn't let me comment unless I start being part of Google Plus. Otherwise, I would send direct messages or, change my login or something like that to comment. But I just want to say thank you to you guys. I'm glad you enjoyed that video. I really enjoyed coming up with that list. Oddly enough, I'm only doing 10 this week. Normally I expand and do more than 10, but this week I'm just doing 10. Honorable mentions aside, of course. This week's theme, of course, is on television shows that aired prior to the year 2000, and this, of course, casts a very, very wide range of stuff. I could mention Different Strokes and Silver Spoons. They were a comedy double act that aired one right after the other. I could mention, a few different things here and there. But really my honorable mentions would include Street Hawk, which is like Knight Rider but with a motorcycle instead, and the motorcycle doesn't talk, but does have lots of cool gadgets on it. A Nickelodeon sketch comedy show starring a bunch of teenagers and 2 adult actors called You Can't Do That on Television. Bum 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 hey bum 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 hey ba-da-dum 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 ba-ba. You remember that one? That was a lot of fun. Max Headroom. Now Max Headroom, of course, had a number of different forms as television shows, but the one that I'm referring to is the fictional futuristic show. Matt Frew, of course, plays Max Headroom, but he also plays Edison Carter, the main character, who is a video journalist for Network 23, the journalist of the future, and Max Headroom is like his personality downloaded into a computer that then takes on a life of its own and cracks wise and really doesn't do a whole lot. But I saw a few episodes of the show when it was on and really liked it. And also, Ren and Stimpy, John Kirk-Falusi's animated craziness, absolutely surreal craziness. Those I could mention, but my top 10 are as follows. The Charlie Brown Christmas specials, which I believe began airing in the 1950s. It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown Christmas, all that kind of stuff. Would watch those whenever they were on. Big fan of Peanuts in general. So those were favorite shows of mine, and we would watch them, whenever they were on, me and my little brother and my parents. From the 1960s, of course, the Batman television series, which was airing repeats when I was a kid. Really enjoyed that as well. Loved Batman. Wondered why he didn't have any muscles. I asked my mom, why doesn't Batman have any muscles? And she's like, he does. They're just not as big as the drawn version of Batman. Yeah, really enjoyed that show a lot. Of course, loved the car, loved the villains. It was great fun. I went as Batman a couple of times for Halloween when I was a kid, dressed up in the costume. Here's an interesting little thing. Let me make sure I have these cards separated here. Sorry about that. The Fonz and the Happy Days Gang. This is an animated Saturday morning cartoon with Henry Winkler and Ron Howard doing the voices of their characters from the Happy Days show, live action show, only this time they're time travelers. They run into a girl from the future named Cupcake. They get in this big flying saucer-like contraption with red lights on top and yellow and orange circular lights on the side. I like this show so much that I drew my own version of it, with crayons and what have you. Don't remember a whole lot about the episodes, except that they always were trying to get back to 1959 Milwaukee, 1957 Milwaukee. I forget exactly what it was. So much so, actually, that I believe that the present now, at the time I was watching, it was actually 1957. I was, of course, wrong about that. But, they treated it like the present, so I did too. Yeah. Oh, and there was a dog in there, Mr. Cool, right. I just found the thing on YouTube, the opening, the little thing. Yeah, don't know if it was a good show or not, but I liked it then. A show I was a huge fan of course, Dukes of Hazzard. Loved the car, loved the guys, Bo and Luke, the brothers, or cousins, I guess. Daisy, I wasn't, into her or anything like that. She was just, one of the good guys. She's cool. So is Uncle Jesse. Then you've got the doofuses who are their antagonists, Boss Hogg, and the police guys from Hazzard County. Lots of stunts, you know, lots of chasing around. There was this one time when I watched the bad guys leave the Duke farm with something valuable, probably a person, and they shot one of the tires in the General Lee to keep Bo and Luke from following them. But they only shot one tire, and so as soon as they get out of sight, Bo and Luke get to work changing the tire. They do it in like less than 2 minutes, and they're off and chasing after them. One day, my parents come home, and they were very much delayed because they got a flat tire. They said it took my dad like an hour to change the tire, and I'm like, really? The Dukes can do it in 2 minutes? Mom's like, come on, give me a break, okay? It's a real flat tire in a real car, not a television show. Anyway, great fun in that show. Knight Rider, of course, love Knight Rider, love the car, love the stunts, love the gadgets, love Kit. Michael Knight, obviously a lot of people thought he was cool. I could take him or leave him. Mostly I was just interested in the car. Kit. William Daniels did the voice of Kit. Then you had his boss, the guy who founded Knight Industries 2000, and then you have the woman who's like his girlfriend, but the technician on the car or something like that. I don't know. I don't remember. It was a really, really long time since I've seen the show. Mostly I just like the music. Ba-doop, ba-doop. Bum bada bum bada bum 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 bada bum bada bum bada bum 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 bada bum bada bum bada bum bada bum bum bada da da bada da da bada da da da. Gotta love it. I was a little embarrassed by this one right here. Yeah, that's right. I watched this show. Not a lot, mostly just during one particular year. The reason was because of Valerie. Valerie, played by Tiffany Thiessen. She was a bit of bad girl, to say the least. And she was one of the two best actors on the show. The other one being Brian Austin Green. They were sort of a cut above everybody else, in my opinion. And when they were a couple on the show for a while, those were the best scenes on the show. So, yeah. Never really watched the new 90210 with Jenny Garth and Tori Spelling reprising their parts, and Shannon Doherty too, I think. I started watching after Shannon Doherty was on the show, and it was a good thing too because she's a terrible actress, terrible. But I grew to like some of the characters and storylines, and yes, they had their cheesiness, but sometimes, you know, you just can't help but like something, no matter how bad or good it is. In 1992, this show got started, and I was very, very interested in their lives and what was going on with them. The original 7 people, Kevin, Andre, Eric, Heather, Becky, Julie, and Norman, right. And of course, Gouda, the Great Dane. And yeah, so it was just like, this was something that I would be, but gee, what it would be like to live with those people in the loft. You know, forget about the cameras, I just think it would be cool to live with them. Now I watch the show, I figure there's like maybe like 4 smart people on the show, and the other people are a little dumb. I don't know. Yeah, I've watched some subsequent seasons, but really, this one's the best. I still have all 13 original episodes on VHS. I recorded them and then copied them on another tape minus commercials, still have them to this day. There's an issue with playing them, of course. You need a VCR for that. Speaking of MTV, the Movie Awards started in 1992 as well. Terminator 2 cleaned up that first year. And after that, they started giving awards to movies like Menace to Society, Pulp Fiction, Seven, There's Something About Mary, The Matrix, plus all the cool, funny sketches, parodies, you know, the host, the acceptance speeches, of course. Great acceptance speeches by some of these people, especially Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey won an award for The Truman Show, and he came dressed as a biker, and he gave a speech that made all the women in the audience, their cheeks go red and them laugh hysterically. It was great. Really, really great. Last year was terrible. Last year Rebel Wilson hosted, and they basically just recycled all the jokes from the year Jack Black hosted, which was like 10 years earlier. Gee, I don't know if I'm good enough to host the awards. Let me sing a song and get my spirits up. Yeah, I can do it. That was like the entire thing for Jack Black's year when he co-hosted with Sarah Michelle Gellar, and they did the exact same thing with Rebel Wilson. Lousy. Hopefully this year is better. Conan O'Brien's hosting this year. That's a good sign. Speaking of MTV, The State. Yes, The State. The State was a sketch comedy show. It had 4 seasons on MTV. Only watched the 3rd and 4th seasons, but I really liked it a lot. Liked a lot of the people on it. Thomas Lennon, of course. And Ben Garant, who went on to work a lot together. They were on the show. Ken Marino, he was on it. Carrie Keeney was on it. Joe Latrulio. but some other cool people. Some great sketches, really funny stuff. I have several of those sketches, my favorite sketches from those seasons, on tape still to this day. The State. And speaking of MTV, 120 minutes, 2 hours on Sunday. You got the best, most artsy and surreal and really the coolest videos that aired on MTV at that time. I think it moved over to VH1, and then they just started doing all classic rock or something like that. But during the 90s, and 120 minutes was the place to be, definitely. You had Matt Pinfield hosting, and he had all kinds of trivia about every single group and artist that came on. He knew like everything, because he's a former DJ, so he had to know about all that stuff. But yeah, the best videos, especially the ones that Michel Gondry directed for Bjork and other artists. Michel Gondry is like the best music video director, and Spike Jonze, of course, and a few other cool people that went on to make feature films. But yeah, I really miss 120 minutes. Taped it every single week, saved my favorite videos, still have a lot of those videos on tape to this day. Yeah, so that would be my 10. That's my 10 favorite TV shows from prior to 2000. And I hope that you enjoyed this, and please check the links in the description below, because I'll have some other Top 10 Tuesday videos there for you if you want to check them out as well. I haven't seen any of them yet. I'm going to as soon as I'm done here. Thanks very much for watching, and please keep commenting. It's awesome. Top 10 Tuesday, Top 10 Tuesday, Top 10 Tuesday, Top 10